Hi, I'm Steve from Foiling Magazine, and I'm here with Steven from Core Foils. And Core is extremely well known in the kite surfing world, but Core has just launched itself into our world of winging and wing foiling, and with a quite incredible product launch here. And so will you take us through it a bit?
Yeah, thanks for having this this talk. We're super excited to be joining this entire wing market. Foils are not necessarily something new to us. We have been in the kite foiling business, so we took a lot of the things we learned from the kite foiling business into this wing foil market. And we might not be the earliest to the game, but it also means we had a moment to look around and see what we really wanted. So I would say that from the get-go, our goal was to get a wing foil setup that's very accessible, very easy to ride, and that will take you from, as a beginning rider, you can start off on it, and you can grow all the way to a very, very advanced rider and still have a lot of fun on it.
Yeah, I mean, your product shots were some serious advanced riding, so if they're riding this stuff, that's pretty incredible actually. But
yeah, it was amazing. We went to Mauritius and got proper waves.
Yes,
it was quite scary, I have to say.
Right.
Usually I kite that.
Right.
And now you're a bit more vulnerable out there, but it's amazing. And it's been quite a long process also with the foils, like getting them in Cape Town first. I think in the end it worked out super well. So I would say we just start off with the Spectrum, which is our wing foil. So the Spectrum, again, what we try to do is make it accessible. You have a lot of brands out there that have so many options. You look on their website and there's like, you have this front wing, that front wing, but you can mix it with this stabilizer and that stabilizer. And our goal was to make a very easily understandable foil setup. So you can change the entire front wing setup and it always works with the same stabilizer, which in my opinion is just really nice for the end consumer. You don't need to shim. You don't need to worry, it's set up. Our foil designer, Jan Termeulen, he took care that once you're out there, all the foils are gonna feel the same from when they lift off the water and once you're flying. So the front wings range from a 950 up to a 2150.
And this is a 1250, and this looks like It's usable by everyone really, right?
Yeah, we didn't want to go very high aspect, obviously. Well, probably you guys know, but the higher aspect you go, the harder it is to control. Yes, you get more glide and more performance, but the drawback is the control. It's going to be hard once it tips over. Your stall is going to come more at an instant, and you're going to sink through. And what we tried is accessibility and confidence-inspiring foils. So the first time I took this out together with Willow in Cape Town, we were both super surprised to be out there and riding this. It feels very similar to our kite foil.
Oh, wow.
And I'm so used to that thing that straight away you're like, oh, hey man, this feels like super good and easy.
So just looking down here,
yeah.
I mean, this is a very unique mast base. It looks like you're trying to save weight. And can you tell me about what we're looking at down here from the mast and the mast base?
Yeah, so we decided to go, first of all, with aluminium mast. And that is mainly because, again, the accessibility part, right? We found that if you have a very high quality aluminium mast, that it doesn't have that. It's actually really on par with weight with carbon, and it is still very stiff.
For sure.
It is not as reactive, but it will filter out the small impurity in water, which I actually really enjoy. And it actually allows you as well to have the mast and the mast base separate. So let's say that you buy yourself a 60 centimeter mast, which is our shortest mast because you want to learn. But then you want to get a longer mast. If you bought a carbon mast, that means a new carbon mast, a new mast which is also connected to the mast base, and that's going to get expensive.
Expensive, yeah.
For us, you know, the upgrade from 60 to 70 mast is very affordable, and you can use the same mast base. Right. So that's quite a unique selling point, I think. And also, you know, we try to cater to the people and make it an accessible product.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Can you tell us a little about the board?
Absolutely. So over here,
And going along the same principles, it's basically a one-board line that morphs in its use, right?
Exactly. So it's again a one-board lineup. This is the roamer. It goes from 55 liters, which is our smallest, all the way up to 130 liters. And I mean, if you look from the front, what you'll see, it is quite a compact board. And we went for the wider till just for that low wind, easy off the water. We worked on a till design that doesn't stick, and a rocker that once you're riding out there and you're gonna have a little touchdown, that is not gonna dive. So, you know, especially riding waves out there, there's gonna be a moment where you're gonna get a little bit of ventilation on your wing once your wing comes out. And you know, you might touch down, but the board will recover really nice from it. And that's something I enjoyed a lot. I think something that is also very unique to our brand is actually our inserts. A lot of the brands, they work with plastic inserts and a self-tapping screw. But we found that if you take a self-tapping screw and push them in, take them out, push them in, take them out, that after a while it is very likely...
Just shred that insert, basically.
Yeah, you shred the thread. And we went for aluminium inserts. And therefore they're gonna last a lot longer, they're threaded, and you don't have to worry about having them loosening up.
Yeah, fantastic, exciting. Well, let's talk about the wings.
Yeah, I think that's a very good plan. So this is our XC wing. We try to, from the get-go, again, same direction we wanted to go. A wing that is easy to ride, easy to handle. Out there, the first thing I noticed is that on some wings you're riding and all of a sudden you get, I think it's called backwind.
Yeah.
You're riding out there and your front hand gets pushed down on a gust, and that's something that threw me off a lot. And especially as a beginning rider, if you're expecting pull and you get push, that's most likely gonna throw you off your board. So we really try to minimize that. It's near to zero with this one. I haven't had it. And if you look down on the handles, you'll find stiff handles. So that means you're gonna have a lot of control on this wing. Riding characteristics, it's a very playful wing. So I love it when you're riding and it's easy to steer the wing around. And it's just playful. It wants to play, and that's what I like. It's what I like in kiting and what I like in winging. Play around with the elements.
So I got a question for you. This is my first time seeing your wings, and is this a dump valve? Is that for just so this little yellow thing right here? What are we looking at there?
Yeah. So one thing with winging, how do you dry your wing?
Okay.
Most of the time, do you hang it?
Just pack it up last. That's what I do.
Pack it last.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. So obviously you can leave it drying out, but a lot of people will hang their wing or they will pump it when it's still rolled up. And because it's such a big leading edge, the bladder easily twists inside, and then you get a warped wing.
Right.
If your bladder twists inside, it's going to get warmed and it wants to pull into one direction. So we inserted those valves, which are, it's not a valve, you can't open it, but they lock the bladder into its position.
Okay.
So the bladder will not twist inside of the leading edge.
Oh, that's a nice innovation.
Yeah, it's just something we noticed that made sense to us. Next to that, we used a lot of our kite materials. So we've been developing a lot on our own kite materials, which is the Exotex leading and the Cortex canopy. We made sure they're very stretch resistant, as light as possible. And overall, I think this will be a wing that everybody is gonna enjoy. It's not just made for one person. Everybody can enjoy this
Awesome.
setup.
Well, fantastic. Well, I look forward to trying it someday here. So thank you so much, Steven. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Absolutely. Yep.
Cheers.
Cheers.